Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Affordable Home Staging is the name of the company, and TJ Pajimola joining us here again. As always, it's been a pleasure the past few months getting to work with him to learn about the company and all the staging he does in Spokane, and we're excited to have him here. But first, I got to ask, how was the big move? You did it all this weekend,
Yeah,
right? How did it
it's
go?
great. It was a storm. It's been good though. We got all the stuff in. My office is very empty right now, but
Ah,
you know, we got everything in. We're just unpacking boxes still and doing all that, but it was good. Yeah, moving a piano. Things I would hire a professional for moving forward. Moving a piano. Oh, sorry about that. What else? Appliances. It's just worth it to get somebody to move those. Me and my brother, obviously we move stuff every day. We could handle that, but it's not like staging, not light like staging furniture. So yeah, but we're loving it. We got this great view out here. Which is nice to look at. So I'm actually in the basement, and we've got this
awesome.
nice like sunlight coming in. So it's nice.
Exciting. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I'm excited that you're here again. And for just a little bit of your background and, of course, how we can contact you, would you mind sharing?
Yeah, so my our website is affordablehomeStagingSpokane.com, or you can reach us on our Instagram at Affordable Home Staging
Mm-hmm.
Spokane, or me directly. My name is TJ at 509-944-1174. But yeah, we do home staging. So if you don't know what that is, we essentially go into homes, we bring decor, furniture, accessories, we make the house look really nice for photos, and then once it gets listed for showings, to hopefully help you sell your home for faster and for more money.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. Excited to talk about. And by the way, I know this is a family business. You've worked really
Yeah.
hard. It's excited. I'm excited that you're back here to talk today. Did you want to talk a little bit about the short-term rental market as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I guess that is something we offer. We don't do it as much. We've over the past couple of weeks, I know we've talked about the vacant staging is really what we specialize in. We do some occupied staging as
Yeah.
well, where we utilize the homeowner's furniture. And then we've done some short-term rentals and some design projects as well. I'm not a certified interior designer, but a lot of the time we come in at the end of these projects or we like refresh Airbnbs and we make them look better so that owners can get more return on investment. And
Sometimes
so
you don't need a
um,
degree. You're just good at something. It is what it is. I feel for you. I
right,
get you.
right.
Yeah, totally.
And again, sometimes like one of the projects I wanted to share today is actually
Sure.
the client was working with an architecture firm who did all that work. Like, they did all the interior design aspects of it. They obviously are, constructing the building and doing all that. And it's a 17 unit apartment building that they're setting up for student housing for
Mm-hmm.
Gonzaga, which is one of the big colleges over here, big basketball college, if people are familiar.
Yeah.
Um, and so this is a 44 bedroom, project. And, you get to the end of it, and then the owner wanted to furnish it because it's a kind of another way to get higher rents, as opposed to having just an
Mm-hmm.
empty apartment. And also it makes it
Like,
the reason you get higher rents is it's because it's more convenient for the students. They don't have to go move a bed, get a dining room table. A lot of the time they're buying all that stuff new anyway. So someone's already going to spend that money. And so this is a way to kind of make it super convenient, do it for them, design it, make it look nice, and again, kind of get that little higher return on investment. So I can kind of share my screen
please
and kind
go
of
for it. Love it. I love when you share.
yeah. And I'll walk through kind of like what this is a boring Excel sheet. So we'll start with that though. It's like in the pricing, I think it's good to go over like what something like this might cost. Um, so I always start whenever I got a project and create my own like little scope of work. It doesn't have to be like crazy, but I try to like be as transparent as possible with our clients. So they asked me to design and source furniture for 17 apartments. They didn't want any of the decor accessories. So the
Yeah.
pictures aren't going to look as nice as if, and I'll show another
Okay.
example where we did all the pieces of an Airbnb. And but some things to consider when you're doing a project
Yeah.
like this is obviously the procurement, shipping, handling, sales tax, all that is going to cost a decent amount. I wholesale the furniture and then I have to charge the tax.
Got it.
And then shipping and handling, that varies.
Yeah.
Their shipping has gone up in
Of
recent
course. I could
months.
imagine. Oh my
Um,
gosh.
because of pirates, crazy enough. That's like one big reason that
That's true.
they're having to go around, essentially around Africa to actually deliver furniture. And so,
Mm-hmm.
that alone has caused shipping recently to go up for some of the furniture that we order. And but yeah, that's a big consideration. It's like, how much is that going to cost? And then labor for actually furnishing. I
Yeah.
don't think people always consider. It's like you order this stuff, someone's got to build it, and that's a big piece of it, like assembling the furniture. That's the kind of most tedious part. We try to do that as fast as possible. If I'm doing like a single unit place, we try to get everything delivered all in the same day or, at the same place. And then we try to
Mm-hmm.
install it all within like a 24-hour period. Obviously, with 17 units, that's a little bit harder. So this project we were planning on doing over the course of 2 weeks, as opposed to doing it all in one day. But and obviously having a few more hands to help with that larger project. And so those are the considerations again. And then I broke it down by units, like what the units actually are. We had a couple different
Yeah.
studios, and then 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 baths, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and so there's different considerations. So again, this is kind of a larger ticket, uh, total for actually doing this, but I would say we still are doing it kind of on the cheaper end for this
Mm-hmm.
type of project. Like we could definitely have charged a lot more for this, but we know the people and we wanted to get in and do more of
Of
this type of
course.
work. um but so it kind of gives an idea of the pricing. So we create a purchase list. We're very transparent. We're not really trying to hide our pricing by any means about like what we're paying, and then we just mark up procurement. So typically I take like a procurement deposit for all the money that they're going to spend on the project, and then we charge a 10% fee, like essentially a markup. It's usually 10 to 20%, but a markup essentially on what we're paying for it. And then they pay like obviously the sales tax and whatnot. So again, that's kind of how we recoup it. And a lot of
Yeah.
the time the cost is recouped in the fact that we can get things a little bit cheaper. We get discounts at pretty much every store, locally. I mean, here it's like At Home, Hobby Lobby, like those types of stores, we get 20% discount. So a lot of the time I'm able to make my money back just off of, or essentially make the pay for our fee just through buying things for our clients. And so that's kind of a nice way to be able to do that. So but again, a lot of this stuff is like wholesale purchased, and they just wanted furniture in here. So you see a lot of like headboards. We did queen size beds. A
Mhm.
lot of you could, for dorm rooms you could go twin a lot of the time, or like XL twin. But
Yeah.
like, it's nice to have a fuller queen bed if you're an adult now living in your own. But like nightstands, desks, lamps, like things that you're going to need, things that people don't really think about a lot is like mattress protectors, hangers, a lot of time, like pots and pans, paper towel holders, soap dispensers. That's something totally different than staging.
No, of
We also don't
course.
bring any of that stuff in. But like, I mean, pots and pans, you're for 17
Yeah.
units, you're spending $4,000
Oh
on
my
pots
gosh.
and
I can
pans.
only
So
imagine. Yeah.
it's like those ticket
Wow.
items add up quite a bit. So yeah, and the like cleaning supplies and things like that. So again, that's $2,000 in vacuums for if you're buying I
That's a
guess a little bit
lot.
nicer a vacuum. But yeah, so I mean those are again some considerations if you're looking at a project this size or even a singular Airbnb. The price per unit is probably going to be anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 for this type of clientele. Like obviously students aren't luxury, they're not asking for you can spend as much as
Mm-hmm.
you want. I mean, on the same 1 bedroom, 1 bath, there's clients out there that want to spend 100 grand on the unit, and that's totally fine. It's just going to be a totally different look. But here's so again, I kind of broke it down by like A1, A2, A3. So this is the first studio apartment. Since there's only one of these units, I thought it'd be cool. I don't know if industrial this industrial style is good for every, person, but it gives a little bit of a different flavor. So, tying in the art, the Gonzaga art that I found that I could get, made,
I love that.
and then having more of that like kind of wood industrial look, it was kind of what I was shooting for just since it's a single unit. But this is kind of an idea of how it gets sent to people. And again, this is without any decor. And you'll see an example of the next one where it's like a lot more detailed when you add the blankets, you add the, pillows, the other accessories, and things like that. But so you can kind of see this living room and what that would look like. And then again, we go to the kind of the next studio. And so I did try to go maybe more of a masculine and then feminine. So
Yeah.
thinking that you're going to have, a mix of both in the building, obviously. So, this one's a little bit more feminine with like the kind of the headboard with the I don't know, silver finish on the sides. But yeah, and then I mean I
So
love
pretty. I love those carpets too. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I'm big on like matching wood color too. I like, to have the woods and the colors match, but sometimes that's not always doable. And sometimes you don't have to do that. That's just might be my preference. But again, these units are going to look a little bit more bare bone, but we did try to do some things. In an Airbnb, like you really should have a TV. Like if you're trying to maximize rent, you should probably have a TV in almost every room, like the living room, the bedroom. In a dorm,
Interesting. Didn't realize that.
yeah, it adds, it adds value, or sorry, adds what you can charge, per room. So if it was like a single night, this is for like really
Yeah.
short-term rentals. These are more like long-term rentals. Well, like these students are probably going to be renting it out for the full year at least, if not multi-year. So that's maybe not the same thing in this type of environment, but and then in these units, again, for cost savings, it's like obviously the studio apartments are going to rent a little bit less than like the 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So we opted not to have like desks necessarily in these studio apartments because a lot of the time you're probably going to be on the couch. And I used this lift up coffee table in both of the rooms, in both of the studios, to utilize as some sort of dining or some type of workspace, to kind of add that flair where, in the other, this is the 1 bedroom where I didn't do that. We just use a solid coffee table because more than likely they're going to be doing that type of work at their desk. And then we also have a dining room now, so they don't need that consideration. So I think having a place to eat, having a place to like sit down and relax, having a place to do your homework,
always a great thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or studies in general, is great. And then obviously a great place to sleep. And so these rooms, it's like there's more of these units in the scope. So there was we went 1, 2, and then 3 and 3 of the 8th of the 1 bedroom. And then I mean of both the options for the 1 bedroom. So, I went more neutral, thinking, okay, you're gonna, you don't want to have it be more feminine or masculine. You kind of want to have it be like gender neutral in how you design the space. So again, grays, whites, like a little bit of industrial, but not too much. Trying to pull the desk lamp silver off the chair and into the desk, like having some of that repetition throughout the room. So once you do add decor on here, it'll look really like everything flows well. And I kind of brought that all the way out into the living room too, trying to like mimic a little bit of like what's in the bedroom into the living room. And then again, I just know what this will look like once you add the pillows and the blankets and like the extra decor. It'll look, you can brighten up a room like this with a little bit of greenery, a couple blankets, a couple pillows, some, you'll obviously have some books or maybe some entertainment things in your console, or sorry, media table. And then same thing with your dining room. So and again, I did I have this unit of 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and then we did the same thing.
Beautiful.
Except maybe with a little bit more dark wood features.
I love that desk. Wait, is that desk like a stand-up desk too?
Yeah, believe it or not, you can buy this at Target. You can order something like this at Target. We get it from the wholesale vendor, but we obviously have the same wholesale vendor as Target does.
Mm-hmm.
But so this desk, I don't think is a stand-up desk. I'm sure they make similar ones that are. I just like I wish it had black finishes, to be honest. But again, can't
Yeah.
can't control everything. But we tried our best
Yeah.
to take the wood off of the console, or sorry, of the nightstands, and then try to match a little bit of with what was on the desk. It's not going to be perfect in this room, but it's a combination between like affordability for this type of clientele and um look, there's a piece like we obviously want it to look good aesthetically, but it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. You don't need to buy bedroom sets for every single student, but
No,
just to keep
absolutely.
costs down, you kind of want to find what, and you'll see a lot of the same stuff, and that's intentional. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe just different colors, like obviously, because if we're buying from the same vendor, obviously the more you purchase, usually the better discounts you can get. And when you're doing 17 units, you want to use as much of like the same stuff as possible, and repeat it throughout the different rooms as opposed to doing it all separately. But this is a larger room. If I remember, this one's the 2 bedroom, 2 bath. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 4 person table is totally fine. But we did go with like maybe a little bit more of expensive couch, knowing like
Okay.
it's going to be multiple people potentially sitting on it. And we thought about like walkways and how we would, it's good to have more of a circular coffee table, just because there's going to be more people traveling throughout the home. So that's another consideration we took. And then this one was maybe the more challenging one, but we were looking at a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and so now we got to keep this gender neutral. And they had the most units. They had 8 of these units. And so thinking about doing 8 units, and they wanted them all the same. But again, you'll see some things are different. Like we obviously went with maybe a lighter gray because there's just going to be more of them, to kind of bring it more neutral depending on what the floor plan looks like, or what the wall color and floor color looks like. And then again, you'll see the same nightstand, different lamp, but again, a lot of the same desk chairs, maybe a more sturdy desk, but we could buy more of them, so kind of get more of a discount. And then you see a sectional, which I think is important when you're having 4 people live in a place together. You don't want to just have a 2-person couch. It's important to have enough seats and like a living space for as many people are going to live there, and maybe more for like guests and whatnot. But because they are students, it's not necessary to like they're not going to have, most of the time, not going to have like more people join them for like a dinner and stuff like that. I did add a leaf in there in case they did want to, but the table choice was based on a 4-person as well. So those are, I guess, I just wanted to talk through some of the decision making there, and that's kind of this first project. And yeah, I think doing dorm rooms is something I definitely want to get into more. I saw, not even, this is like a full, obviously new build, but something I definitely want to get into more is actually, when people are setting up in around this time of year, end of August or early August, and early September, is actually going in and helping people design their dorm rooms that are already at the school. And just, that's picking out, they already have the beds usually. So picking out bedding, picking out lamps, like helping with that kind of design, which we can do very affordably and help, parents and whoever's purchasing these items do it for a little bit cheaper. While still making, obviously we want to make some money doing it ourselves, but with those discounts I was talking about, a lot of the time we can make our money in just the cost savings that we're providing to the to the whoever's our clients. So
That is so cool. But now all the stuff, is it still able to get, or is a lot of it still in demand since COVID, right? Because you had a problem probably getting all the stuff.
yeah, well, all this stuff was available. So when at the time I created the bid, so again, we have to do these pretty quickly after. We if someone, usually someone reaches out within a week, I'm sending them this type of purchase list of everything that we would need to buy for this project. And then we are setting out an order. And then if we're getting it shipped to the site, like we would in this case, then we're coordinating with the our wholesale vendor to be able to, actually drop ship that to
Yeah.
the location we're doing it. If we're ordering it in advance, then we're finding a spot to store it for a certain amount of time, before we actually go install it. Sometimes that's at the site that we're doing it, like a garage or whatnot. For 17 units, I don't have the storage for
Yeah.
that. But so we would definitely just want to get that to the site, and then the plan would be to like take it to all the units that same day. So I would hire a bit of help to be able to do that. But yeah.
Wow. This is fascinating to see how this all works, the whole breakdown of it all. I never
Yeah.
realized this. My goodness, it is
Yeah.
intense. You mentioned you have the
Whoops.
same vendor you said, or the wholesaler as Target.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Just curious,
all
like
kinds of
how do you
wholesalers.
find, yeah, how do you find a wholesaler? My goodness.
I mean, honestly, sometimes you can look at the products around your house and see who actually makes the stuff. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
went into Target, you can look under a cushion or look under the table, and you'll see the manufacturer, and that's the person you want to contact. And usually the only requirement is that you have a business license in design, and that and you have to share that information with them to sign up. Another thing is there's a lot of reps out there, like sales reps that represent a bunch of different wholesalers. So once you've done it a couple times, you'll get connected with a rep, and they'll tell you about other vendors that are looking to do that. And then every year in Vegas, so for staging, there's a convention, that like essentially a market that we can go to, and a bunch of wholesale vendors will be there to show you kind of what trends are coming out. And that's kind of something I didn't actually go to the event this year because we had other stages and other work, but plan to go next year. But I was able to get all that information from some of my other contacts about like what type of trends are happening right now, and we try to stay on top of that as best we can to make sure our stages and our designs are current. But yeah, there's also one more I wanted to share,
Bring it
a little
up. We
bit
got
different of a
time.
project. So and to kind of give a more of a full idea of like what this
Sure.
was, a single unit, but 2 bedrooms, and kind of get an idea of like the breakdown again of a singular thing. It's like we're not charging a
Mm-hmm.
massive fee on top of everything, but again, if you're spending, about $5,000 usually per bedroom, this one was a little bit more expensive. It's on a lake, so having a little bit higher, nicer finishes, and it's for a short-term rental, so they're going to make a little bit more
Yeah.
money. But yeah, we were looking at 2 king size bed, or actually, sorry, I might be mixing that up. This was just a single, yeah, a one. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was a 2 bedroom.
Okay.
I just wanted to verify that. But yeah, so we got a master and a guest bedroom, bathroom, um, living room, reading nook kind of thing, dining. This reading nook was interesting. We were trying to hide, like they had like access to the crawl space in the living room, basically. So figuring out a way to split up the space and hide that a little bit, make it so people don't stub their toes or trip on that. And then again, all those other considerations I talked about, like kitchen art, bar stools, uh, coffee maker. I know a lot of people actually use the old school coffee makers instead of using like Keurigs or some of the other coffee makers, just to save costs on the refills of those things. But that's a small consideration, just
Wow.
something,
Totally.
you can go as granular as you want with
Huh.
this to maximize your listing. But we're also looking at like, okay, black, I spelled tray wrong, but black tray decor, like different things like that, are luggage racks, different things, brooms, of course. There's just a variety of other things when you're working with an Airbnb or short-term rental, as opposed to doing a stage. And then the design images, again, they're going to be a lot more full. In this
Yeah.
case, like you're going to see a little bit more about how it comes together. Before, we just had like the chair, the desk, and the rug, and like it's okay, you kind of get it, but it doesn't really come together until you add the art and the accessories and the pillows. And I can't take credit for all this. I had a member of my team that I hired, to work on this, who she specialized in really Airbnb design and short-term rental design. And so she had a lot of insight on how we would actually, what other pieces we need to bring in to, again, maximize a listings, what they're able to get on a nightly basis. And so it was great having her, and I learned a ton. But we've kind of really dialed in like how we like to do our present our Airbnbs. And this is obviously all in Excel. It's nothing too complex or complicated. Our goal is to get it over quickly so that we can actually procure these items for the owner. But then you'll see the bedroom and how we kind of utilize blanket color and pillow color to kind of tie in and bring it out of the art to tie in the whole room.
Yeah.
Which is little pieces. A tall mirror, that's something that you should have in pretty much every Airbnb. I think is just people love to see that.
I love it. A
little bit more reading nook design to hide that like floor access to the crawl space again, and make it still, like she used to say, like a little moment that people would enjoy in the home. So and again, like before, you saw the couch, the TV.
Yeah.
There's not much else. I guess in this case, we have a floating.
I love it. I love your decor and style, and all the pictures we've seen during the past few weeks that you share. Beautiful stuff, and your own home. Gosh.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, it's been awesome being on this and just talking about what we do. We'd love to just get our name out there more, help more people with their design, maximizing their investments, maximizing their largest asset, which is their home. Most of the time, that's their largest asset, and that's why we do what we do. So I appreciate you having me on here and getting to share all that we do, and it's been awesome.
Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, really. So thank you again for everything. Would you mind telling us how we can reach out to you, please?
Yeah, so you can always reach me directly at 509-944-1174 or on our website at affordablehomeStagingSpokane.com or on our Instagram at affordablehomeStagingSpokane.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. I know we'll connect again. And thank you for being so awesome. Tell the fam and friends hello, and great job. Great series. And I even love your basement and you staged it with the beautiful sailing picture.
Thank you.
Till next time, TJ.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.